trickle-down economics is bullshit, and here's why. It is true that city, state, and county governments compete with each other and say, hey, rich people, open your factories in our area, and we'll give you better tax breaks. And they do, and these factories open up, and it does create jobs in those areas. But overall, nationwide, you're always going to lose more jobs than what you create. What really creates jobs is high demand for products and services. So if you have a widget factory and people all over the nation are buying a lot of widgets, that factory is going to have to create jobs and employ more people. They're going to have to open up other factories. And what creates high demands for products and services is people having money. The more money a person has, the more likely they are to go buy widgets or go to a restaurant or go to a movie or whatever they want to do with it. Now, here's what you need to understand. There is something the economists call the money supply. Basically, that's the amount of money that the government has printed up. We need to think of the economy as the government has printed up a bunch of money, and we are all competing with each other to get as much of it as we can, or to get as much utility with it as we can. There are people out there that I think of as the Michael Jordans of the economy. They are really good at making money. And as they make more and more money, their percentage of the money supply is going up. Everybody else's percentage of the money supply will be going down. So basically, a recession or depression basically just means the rich people have got such a large percentage of the money supply, the rest of us don't have enough to pay our bills. And in that case, we don't have enough money to go buy widgets or cars or go out to eat or whatever we're doing. So now all the restaurants and factories, they're making less product because there's less demand, and that means layoffs. When we have a lot of people in this country that don't have enough money to pay their bills, when you think about it, the money they need does exist. The problem is they don't have it. Other people have the money. Now, they may not have it because they're lazy and don't want to work a job, or they may not be able to find a job that pays them enough money to pay their bills. But the money they need, it does exist. It's out there. It's just they don't have it. Other people have it. So basically, when you're in a situation like that, there's basically two ways to solve that problem. One way is you got to get the money away from the rich people and get more evenly dispersed, or you print up more money. But whenever you print up more money, inflation always comes after that. So yeah, you didn't take any of the billionaire's dollars, but each one of his dollars now has less value. So you might as well have taken some of his money away and got it more evenly dispersed. So it basically goes back to what I was saying. There's really only one general way to solve the problem. You have to decrease the percentage of the money supply of rich people and increase everyone else's percentage of the money supply. Now, I don't necessarily have a problem with rich people. I know rich people. They're my friends. I like them. They're good people. I want more money. I think just about everyone in this country wants more money, but it still doesn't change the facts. If a person has $100 million, he has plenty of money. He can live his life in complete luxury, and he doesn't need any more. Yet the problem is no matter how much money they get, it's never enough to satisfy them. They always want more. What I'm basically talking about is called Keynesian economics, if you want to sound fancy. So basically, capitalism fails because you're always going to have a few people who are going to be like the Michael Jordans of the economy. They'll be so good at making money, and they're going to outcompete us for the money supply. So you might ask, Bill, are you a socialist? Well, it depends on how you define the word socialism. Everyone has a different definition of it, and they are just willy-nilly with it. If you define socialism as everybody gets the same amount of money no matter how hard they work, I am completely against that idea. That idea fails 100% of the time. In fact, that idea fails a hell of a lot faster than capitalism fails. But if you define socialism as the community controls the means of production, that actually works very well. The Mondragon corporations in Basque Spain show that works. But what seems to work best is a mixture between capitalism and socialism. Well, you have a society that's ran on capitalism, but you have some socialism in there to keep the rich people from getting all of the money. So instead of doing what we have been doing, when rich people get too high of a percentage of the money supply, we just print up more money and raise minimum wage. I think we should try a universal basic income, UBI, kind of like Andrew Yang's plan, except not as intense. We give too much money to people, they all might quit their jobs. And there has not been enough experiments with this type of system. So I think we should start off with the $2,000 a year trial and see how it goes. And we finance it with the valued added tax, like Andrew Yang suggested, and like what they do in European countries. Whenever you buy something, you have to pay an extra tax for it, and see how it goes. I feel confident that as technology improves, robots will be taking over a lot of our jobs, and there will be mass unemployment. I don't know if this is going to be a year down the road or 100 years down the road, but I feel confident that it's coming. So I think it's very unwise to take the position of not worrying about it because it might be so far down the road. So if I was president, I would try to work toward getting a UBI system, like the one I described.